Do you desire to be a health coach and you're wondering how do I get credentials? What do I need a license? Is there some sort of certificate that I need? Is there a certification program? Which certification is the best? Maybe you've been shopping around looking at different options and you desire to build a business where you are able to charge a price for your advice and you can get paid for your healing knowledge and making other people's lives better. And you're wondering, is a degree necessary? Which degree do I need? What is the governing body, or how does that work in the health coaching industry? Well, if you've asked any of these questions before, this video is for you, because we're going to talk about how to get credentials to be a health coach, and it's not what you think. A lot of times people do have on their mind, they want to know, well, do I need a certification in order to be a health coach? And I would say that the answer, it depends. Health certifications are great for learning about health, physiology, nutrition, disease, its cause, prevention, and cure. It's wonderful for teaching you the health skills. But it's not necessarily going to teach you the wealth skills if you're wanting to package your health knowledge and turn it into a business through books, coaching, courses, speaking, or any online content, or where you're attracting clients who actually are paying you. Then really the thing that people desire the most, what the market is looking for in determining whether they're going to pay you to be their health coach, is less about your certification, your degrees, or where you went to school. It's more about the results. People want to know, do you have results that I want, or have you helped other people like me to get the results that you're looking for, that they want to pay for? So a certification alone isn't going to bring the health clients, and that's what people get confused. And my challenge is, I think health certifications can be a great source of continued education, but the challenge is if you think, and I've seen people think that the health certification is what is missing, that if they could get more credibility or in the form of certificates, if they stack on certificates, they're going to get more clients. They're like, oh, my business isn't the way that I want it to be. I don't have as many leads as I'd like. Well, let me invest in another $1,000 certification program, thinking that is going to magically attract more clients. But it doesn't really work that way. What clients really want to know is, can you help them to get the results? Do you have the results, or does your process work? And there's an example that there's a man, his name is Drew Manning, and he's a personal trainer. He was a fit guy, and he wanted to create this story. He manufactured actually this experience, these results, so that he can show the market that, hey, I understand what you're going through as a personal trainer. I'm fit now, but I wasn't always like that. I used to be how you were, and I know how to overcome it. There's a lot of people who get fit and they're like, I can't really relate. You're just so ripped. I'm not like that. So he created this story that he calls From Fit to Fat to Fit, that he used as a powerful marketing tool to connect with others and show the results that he can bring his clients. So he started off as this fit, ripped personal trainer, and he wanted to be able to relate with his clients more. So then he got fat, and he deliberately, intentionally chose to get overweight and put on a bunch of pounds. You can see the before and after is just intense. And he wanted to show people, I'm not just saying this because I came out of my mother's womb with a six-pack abs and thick biceps. He went through exactly what he's teaching you to go through. So then he went from fit to fat to back to being fit again, where he now coaches other people on how they can get fit, how they can lose weight, how they can build the body of their dreams. So Drew Manning used this as a powerful hook or a marketing tool, and this has landed him interviews on podcasts, on national television. He even packaged this into a book, From Fit to Fat to Fit, where he tells his story, and this result became his lead generation, his customer conversion, his one of the best business assets. This became part of his signature speech, his signature story, and through that story, he's able to bring people to to his business. And I know, like, for my experience too, see, I had a heart attack when I was 12. I used to be 210 pounds and I was on the SAD diet. And what's the SAD? Standard American diet. And that was not helping me at all. And so I ended up gaining so much weight. I was the second fattest kid of an elementary school of about 1,000 students. And when I had a heart attack, I was rushed to the hospital and they took my blood work and they found out that I was high cholesterol, high blood pressure, borderline diabetic. I already knew I was morbidly obese and severely depressed, but I didn't know that much about diabetes at the time, and I kind of pictured myself and my lifestyle, my choices, as though I was walking towards a precipice with one foot off, and I was about to jump off that cliff, and my life may never be the same again. But now I know that type 2 diabetes can be reversed. However, that was a scary moment for me. So what did I do? I went to my mom and I said, "Mom, what can I do to fix this? I'm fat, sick. I'm in need of a change in my life, and I don't even know where to start." So my mom starts pulling off these books off the shelves, and she's like, and she starts introducing me to some of these lessons that she learned from a guy named Hans Diehl. See, Hans Diehl had put together this complete health improvement program, and in this program, he showed about these 8 laws of health, and by applying them to my life, I was able to lose 50 pounds in 3 months. I've never put it on since. I stopped drinking sodas and donuts and candies since I was 12. I haven't touched a soda since, and it just radically transformed my life. I'm no longer pre-diabetes, no longer high blood pressure, high cholesterol. That all is in the past. So where Hans Diehl, the reason I am alive today to share the story, my experience, is because one man with a health message learned how to monetize and market his health message and reach my family that I'm alive today. And I believe many of you have a life-saving message that's able to impact other people's life, that if you learn how to market, because marketing is getting your message to the masses. If you learn health marketing, that is the missing key that can unlock the endless amount of impact and income and opportunities for you to literally save people's lives. And I want to be a part of helping you in some of the lessons I've learned in growing my health education business to over $500,000 in profit. And I realized that if I didn't learn the marketing, then my message would die on my lips. So what happened was, as I had that health transformation, people heard my results and they're like, "Can you share this on my stage? Can you come speak at my event? Can you share this with my audience and my group? And I know people who could really benefit from this." So from a teenager, I started getting booked to speak and traveling around the nation doing health seminars and health programs, cooking classes, and teaching people about my results. And by doing that, I started to develop results of other people I've been able to help to overcome their diabetes, or no longer have to amputate their foot, or to be able to lose weight or feel great. And as I'm starting to collect these results, I'm able to incorporate them more into my story and share people who follow my health advice or my health journey, the same principles that I use. And that opens the doors for more talks. Now, somewhat recently, I was speaking at a summit in Arizona, and it was a creator summit. And while I shared my health story, there was someone in the audience who was like, "Oh, you know what? I actually worked with Hans Diehl for almost a decade, and I know him personally. I think he would love to hear your story. If I connected you with him, would you be interested in sharing?" And I was like, "Absolutely. I would love to speak with a man who made such an impact in my life." And as I start talking to him, he very quickly realizes what I do and how I help health experts to market their message. And he knows very well the old school kind of way of marketing on radio and TV. And he was coming to me for health marketing advice on how can he get on the new way of spreading his message, building his program, and sharing his this latest health project that he's working on. And he wanted to know what are some ways to use the digital marketing, to use the online avenues and the channels for communicating his message, because a lot of things have changed. And it's really amazing to see how things go full circle, to be able to help someone who's reached hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people through his programs throughout the world. And a lot of it is because of the results. See, nobody, out of all the people who booked and paid me to speak to their events, not one of them ever asked me, where did you go to school? What's your degree? Where's your certification? Who certified you? Never has that been a requirement before someone paid me to speak to their event. And I do get that question after they hear me and they're like, whoa, you've learned a lot and this is so powerful. Where did you learn all this? And what I like to tell them is I'm currently enrolled in the School of Christ. And that's where I learn everything. Everything I teach in the business, I learn from the Bible, or I either filter through the scriptures. And if it's not found there, then I don't share it. And so everything I learn, all the business I teach is based on biblical principles. And part of the challenge is there's a book, E-Myth Revisited, that is written by Michael Gerber. I believe it's Michael Gerber. And he says that one of the entrepreneurial myth is that he gives an example is, let's say you have a skill of being able to bake pies. You can make delicious pies. And the myth of entrepreneurship is that if you have a skill of baking pies, that means you have the ability to run a business that bakes pies. But there's a big difference. And the skills to heal, like even as a health coach, that just because you get certified, you get the skills to help people to lose weight, to feel great, to create a nutrition plan and to be able to help them through their health goals. If you have the health skills, that doesn't necessarily translate to the wealth skills. Now that is a powerful knowledge that people are willing to pay a premium for, but only if you couple the health certification or health training with some business training, with marketing training, with sound marketing methods that are working now. And a lot of times health certifications, they provide either little to no actual business training. I can't tell you how many health educators that I know who've gone through some sort of medical training or health training, and they've received little to no business training. So when it comes to generating clients and sales and building a business and hiring a team or understanding marketing or how to even, there's a difference between just speaking to teach and speaking to sell. If you want to create content that converts, then there's a different set of skills that are required in order to craft a sales message that both educates, inspires, and informs, and inspires people to take action, like pulling out their credit card and purchasing and paying a price for your advice. A lot of health coaches come to me, they're like, look, I give a lot of health advice, but I'm not getting paid for it, and I would really like to. And it's part of this missing puzzle, and the belief that so often is popularized, like Hollywood produced The Field of Dreams, and it says in this movie that if you build it, they will come. And while that works great for a fairy tale from Hollywood, it doesn't actually work in real life or in actual business, because the fact of the matter is, if you have a great health product, that doesn't mean that the product is going to sell itself. How many of you ever heard that? Put yes in the chat if you've heard that if you got a great product, it's going to sell itself. Well, the fact is, that's just a lie. It's not true, because no product is going to sell without sales and marketing. These are the skills that pay the bills. And if we think that, I just got to focus on the health knowledge and the health education and sometimes people think, well, I don't have the leads that I want. I don't have the business that I want. So they're like, well, let me go invest in another multi-$1,000 certification and thinking that will help me to get credibility. When really what helps you to be credible is results, is stories. It's the fact that there's transformations of people who applied the advice you give or the same principles that you teach. And even if they're not necessarily your clients, you can borrow a story as you build a story. Don't claim that you're your clients, but you could say, hey, there's someone who followed the exact same principles that I teach, and these are the results they're able to get. And that builds credibility. Your story builds credibility. And even just like speaking on stages builds credibility. And I see that a missing piece that many of the health certifications have is that they are great with teaching you the health, connecting you with other people in your industry, and showing about like continuing your education. I think there's a lot of value in them. But when it's coupled with business training and proper business skills. See, one of my most popular talks that I get invited to speak on is, I'm a certified health coach. Now what do I do? After speaking with so many health coaches and educators and naturopathic doctors or these holistic health professionals, I realized that after the certification, they're like, okay, it's what now? In business, it's like the Wild West out there. I heard one man describe it, and he's like, I don't even know where to start. It seems like overwhelming to know how to generate leads and find your unique positioning and who's your niche and who are you going to target and how are you going to find them and how do you speak to them and where do you speak to them? There's a lot of different questions. So I have a talk where I go through, I'm like, all right, you're certified. Now what do you do? And while I was invited to speak at this doctor's office, Dr. Sharps has a institute where they train naturopathic doctors and they train other health professionals. And in this training, I mentioned how I published my book, the book on high-ticket health coaching, and how there's a lot of principles that I go into about marketing and sales and how to position yourself. And I go into the details of how to master a high-ticket health coaching business and how to get paid a premium for your advice. And so after talking with her afterwards, she was saying that she really enjoyed the talk. She's buying the book. A bunch of people in the audience bought the book, and she was discussing how she's very interested in taking the book, turning it into questions, and making it a required reading for all of her PhD students, because that's her most popular program as they have their school of training. And so she's going to have, when her naturopathic doctors go through, they're going to be using our book to teach them the marketing side, because Dr. Sharps recognizes that there is a lot of value in teaching not just the health side, but the wealth principles. What are the business principles that are able to help you to monetize that knowledge? Because let's face it, your message matters, but if you don't make the money, then you can't support your message. And that's why by learning these skills, that is going to help you to scale your impact, your income, to increase the opportunities that you have to share with others. Now, I have an Ask Enoch Anything show that I'm starting up, and I'm going to be answering some common questions that people have. One of the questions I got was from Andrew Welch. He is a health educator, and he asked a question. He's like, Enoch, so how could I stand out in a competitive market? And I would say, Andrew, one of the best ways that I have found for standing out, and which really goes well with this credibility piece, is learning to publish a book. When you're able to package your knowledge into a book, it does a few things. One of them is that it allows you to build massive goodwill towards others, because you're able to, as people are able to buy your book, go through your program, go through your methodology, your training, your story, your results, and your expertise, they're able to spend that time with you, resonate with you. And the book, if you look at the root word of the word authority, if we're talking about credibility and authority, if you want to increase your authority, just look no further than the very beginning of authority. Being a published author makes you an authority instantly and makes you perceived as someone who is credible in that space. Now, media absolutely loves authors. Speaking engagements, events, conferences, if they have a pick between someone who's in your, if you're speaking about your similar topic, if they're going to pick a speaker who has a book or a speaker that doesn't have a book, they choose a speaker with a book many times over. And it allows you to increase speaker fees. It allows, and a lot of times event planners would want to purchase several copies of their books and distribute it to their event attendees. And you could move hundreds of books or thousands of books off of just one speaking engagement. So you have more profitable speaking engagements. So I find that one of the best things that a health coach could do to really develop credibility is having a book. Even Drew Manning, he wrote the book, Fit to Fat to Fit. Another person who was able to leverage this is a guy named Joe Cross. Joe Cross wrote a book, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, where he went on his journey about what it was like to, he was overweight, he was sick, he had a lot of diseases, and he documented his journey of being on this juice fasting and getting more plants, more nutrients, a plant-based diet. And so he published a book that landed him a best-selling documentary. And through that book and through that documentary, now he gets paid big money to speak on stages. And he's a high-in-demand health authority, and he has coaching programs that have generated lots of income and, most importantly, impacted many people's lives. And then the fifth thing that this book did is he allowed him to make millions in affiliate revenue. Because if you think about it, he's teaching people how to juice, and look at the cover. If you're going to juice, what equipment do you need? A juicer. So related, one of the concepts that I teach my students is look at what are the related products that you're able to combine with your knowledge and expertise that would make sense for your business. So he partnered with a specific juicer, and he was able to make millions through his affiliates, his affiliate commissions. And all of this Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead empire, this movement started because he published a book that became a documentary that went on to speaking. And now he has people, just this average Joe Cross, he learned how to monetize his health knowledge. And he wasn't a health expert when he started, but he was one who was documenting his journey. He's like, look, I'm sick and I want to go further. I want to get healthier. So he documents his journey of what that's like. He interviews other people who are experts on the subject, and he's sharing his lessons, sharing what he's been learning and discovering. And through that, you go to his website and you don't see a big list of medical degrees and coaching and certifications and all that stuff. It's the results. It's the journey. It's the experience. It's learning how to package your health knowledge in a way that can capture people's attentions, inspire action, and inform people of your unique method for healing. And he's been able to build a multi-million-dollar business because he learned how to gain credibility as a health coach. And it's not what you think. So today we've been covering some different ways of how you can gain credibility and increase a perceived authority in your brands, and helped to inspire clients to want to pay you. One of them is certifications can certainly help, but it's not a determining factor. The results is the number one thing that people want. And I know for me, my credentials is the results that I have and the results of my clients and the results of my business, the results of people that I'm sharing. Also, publishing a best-selling book is an incredible tool, because with that book, you can build an entire business on the back end of your book. And that's one of a great way it's better than a business card. And if you are interested in knowing how you can package your health knowledge into a book and get it to bestseller, I put together a free training that is going to go into detail. I call it the Best-Selling Author Secrets. And in this masterclass, it's going to show you the exact steps to publish a best-selling book, how you can write, publish, and launch your book to bestseller within the next 60 days. Whether it's your first book or your second book, if you've never written a health book, or this isn't your first rodeo, or you have existing health books, this free training is going to go into detail about exactly what you can do to increase your credibility, to stack more credentials in your coaching, and help people in a way that is far beyond your active presence. And you can build a movement with your health message by publishing a best-selling book. So if you're interested, then I want you to type in best-selling in the chat below, and I'll be happy to send you more information. Just type in best-selling in the chat and we can get that information to you, what you're looking for. And thank you so much for watching, friends. Today we've been talking about how to get credentials to be a health coach. And I look forward to hearing from you more. And remember, God doesn't call a qualified, He qualifies a called. So have a great day and God bless.